Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Character Modeling. That's right, week 3. We're starting to get a little bit ahead of it and really getting some good progress on our character bus. So, really excited to see those week 2 versions of it so I can check out the first 30% of it to see how far we've gotten, take a look at the verts, take a look at everything and see if it kind of makes sense. I'm looking forward to those rendered images, so I'm looking for 2 rendered images from that. So, please send that to me as soon as possible. That'd be fantastic. But this week, figured I'd talk about the assignments and what we're going to be talking about a little bit more. So I figured I'd talk a little bit just as like a design element on it's like male versus female anatomy. If your character's more female, if your character's more male, this can help you out a little bit more, especially with like the features and the elements with it. So let's take a look at that real quick, and then we'll talk about your assignments and get into it a little bit more. So let's do that. So really, in all aspect, what is the same? And there are some elements of humans that men and female kind of share in those characteristics, and they're defined by a unit of measurement. Surprisingly enough, every human is the exact amount of how their size of their head is by 7.5 heads tall. It's a weird data increment, but it's true. So if you ever take like your head, it should be 7.5. Your height should be 7.5 of that head size, like that length should match your head size by 7.5 times. And that's something that's really crucial. And this is the same for most men and women a lot of times. And it's a weird measurement to use, but it actually works. It's really interesting. The only difference is the slight variation with specific elements in the height, but it's very minimal. So that's something to keep in mind with. But yeah, that's the same about it. However, there's some major differences overall between females and males, and how they kind of look at it specifically. And more importantly, women are smaller than men. That is very true with finer bone and muscle structures. Tend to see a little bit more issues with calcium and all that with women, but women are generally depicted as softer with smoother lines that of a male character. Unlike men, which are more angular, and the widest point of a man is always at their shoulders a lot of times. But for a woman, it's really generally at their hips. And this gives the male torso more of an upside down triangular shape from shoulder to shoulder to the groin, rather than women, because they'll have more of the hourglass style figure. And this is due to the ability to bear children. The abdomen of a woman is structured differently than that of a man. And it allows women to have a narrow rib cage, but the pelvis is wider. And the abdominal muscles will split when the woman is pregnant. So it really does evolve over time based on childbirth. Women are definitely different based upon that element of childbirth. That's really crucial. And naturally, a higher percentage of body fat is found on the female than the male. And this is again due to the accommodation of pregnancy. And this allows the chance for women that are generally drawn physically softer and more curves than men. Really, it's based on 2 torso shapes, the upside down triangle versus the pear shape. And that's really how it's kind of based a part of it. Now, some tips for drawing a lot of times. Say if you're drawing or creating in an animated space, there's some characteristics that are very similar to both genders that you can use specifically. For example, with males are definitely more angular, especially with the shoulders and with the jawline and with the face itself, especially in the chins, lips, and ears. Definitely in the cheeks, you tend to see more angles. The top of the head is actually has edges and angles as well, and the brow is more pronounced up in the front element of it. That's why you kind of see the brow pop out a little bit more rather than more angled and upwards. Everything's more angled and straight and linear a lot of times. Now for females, it's a little different. Tend to focus more on curves. This is seen in the lips, chins, and ears as well. The top of the head has curves, a smoother definition. Note how the head's more rounded compared to a man, which is more angular shape. Features are meant to show a little bit more feminism and a little bit more due to the curves. And the brow is less pronounced. Note how the eyebrows are a little bit more recessed outward and more angled specifically. So those are some differences, especially with that. And note in the body itself, definitely that hourglass figure shape to accommodate pregnancy, unlike men where it's very angular to that. And that all kind of plays a part with that. Now, these are tips for just in general overall. Now, these can apply to other characteristics of a character. For example, your character may have human characteristics, but may not be human overall. They could be an animal. They could be an alien. They could be metal. They could be a robot. There could be a lot of different elements about that, but they carry that same bipedal characteristic and you give them male or female features based upon their personality of who they are. And that kind of plays a part into it a lot. You can definitely see that with any of like the animal characters as well, to where you can see that they have based as well. One of my things is like Gadget from what was it? Rescuers Down Under. Note, she has a very hourglass figure, even though she's a mouse. But she tends to show that female style aspect about that. And that's something to play a part of that. Same thing with Gloria from like a hippo, from, what was that? Madagascar. Gloria has that hourglass figure too, but she's a girl. So that's something, but she's a hippo at the same time. And no matter what, the female and male characteristics and their features can be put into your character to showcase if they're male or female. You just got to get a little creative with it, and that's really the elements of it. So, just some heads up about characters and just the difference between female and male characteristics. Let's take a look at that a little bit more in detail and go from there. So, let's take a look at due dates and assignments, but just I feel like it was good to take a look at those things. So when you're adding details to your face and the extra elements to it, it's going to help you out down the road for this week. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so let's keep going. All right, well, that's it. Yeah, that's all I got for this week. Let's take a look at your assignments and go from there. Let's do that. So this week, your announcements are posted. So I've posted your discussions. Your discussion posted the blurry line of androgyny. And this is going to take place between female and male. So what I would like you to do is perform an internet search for your initial post of 2 images and find a close-up of a person's face, a full shot of that person's body that displays some of the opposite gender markers, things like broad shoulders on a woman or a square jaw, or a man who has a wider hips at the shoulders than at the shoulders, or a man that has like more feminine rounded features on a face. That's something to look at specifically. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to get 2 pictures, a full shot, and one is going to be the close-up of that person's face and the full body of that person as well that you chose. So it shouldn't be 2 different people. It should be just one subject, but a close-up and a full body. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take, for the close-up image, I want you to post that one image of the close-up of the chosen individual you chose, and I would like you to have a few sentences, at least a paragraph, of the explanation as to what the features look masculine or feminine and why. Same thing with the full shot of the full body of that same person. Same thing, another paragraph explaining why it is feminine or masculine based on that character's, or based on that person specifically. You need to use a real person. Please do not use an animated character or anything like that. I'd really appreciate that. And then for your reply posts, I would just like one reply post to my reply. I usually post it on Thursday and Friday, so do keep an eye on that. That way you have it available. So please make sure to use that discussion post that I post for your reply post, so you can get those points. Now note, these rubrics are built for 2 or more replies, but that's for the bigger class. I know we have a small class, so I'm just looking for 1. If you give me 1 reply, I'm all for it. Just make sure you have that done by Saturday, and make sure it's 2 to 3 paragraphs per post. I'm looking for a lot of detail. I'm looking for you to give, if you agree with my post or you disagree, explain why not. What are the elements of? And if you disagree with it, what can you improve on it? Give me detail. The more detail you give me, the more I can give you points for. That's really the thing. And then finally, for your course project, you're going to keep continuing to model that character bus. I'm looking for about 60-70% done. Again, I'm looking for only rendered images this project. I'm not looking for your project file yet. So give me the rendered images. I would like to see a full version of the head from the front view and one from the side. That would be great, and that way I can match it up in a lineup specifically and give you possible feedback. I'm looking for about 60 to 70% done. The whole head model should be done, and the week after this, for the final turn, we should be working on eyes, mouth, ears, and any other basic facial features that we're missing, like nose, and go from there. Other than that, that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Be safe, have fun, enjoy, and that's it. So, like I said, just let me know if you need anything. If there's any issues, let me know. That's pretty much it. Enjoy, my friends. Have a good one. Be safe. And let me know if there's any problems. All right? So, that's it. Enjoy. Have a good week. And keep an eye out for my next announcement for Friday. Do keep in mind that the initial post is due on Tuesday and your reply post is due on Saturday. So, that's important. All right, be safe, everybody. Have a good week, and holler if you need. Enjoy.